going, everybody? C-RadTV back here with another video. So, of course, it is time for another NFL draft preview for the 2020 NFL draft. So, in the last draft preview, we started our day 2 draft previews and looked at the top day 2 running back prospects for rounds 2 and 3. For this video, we're going to be focusing on the day 2 offensive linemen. So we're going to revisit a previous one, but we're going to focus on the top offensive lineman prospects for days 2 and 3. As offensive line is one of the big areas the Lions need to address in this offseason and in the draft. See, anyway, with all that talk out of the way, let's go ahead, let's jump right into it. So starting off for the offensive lineman, we're going to look at the top offensive tackles here for rounds 2 and 3. But, so yeah, the first one we're going to go over, we have hailing from TCU, standing 6'6", weighing 328 pounds, we have Lucas Niang. So Lucas, his strength's massive right tackle, anticipates the snap count, beats defenders in the punch, fires off the ball in the run game, shows easy bounce and agility sliding out in pass protection. Behind his frame, he's fared better in pass protection than as a run blocker throughout his career. There's no panic in his game, though. He uses extension ladder, like limbs and natural grit to force pass rushers to run quite an arc around him. So yeah, his bread and butter is pass protection to, give quarterbacks the time to throw the ball. For weaknesses, though, he does carry a little bit of extra weight around the middle. Doesn't seem to slow him down, though. He has lined up exclusively at right tackle at TCU and protects their best in the NFL. Yeah, he projects that their best. So, yeah, he hasn't had much on other positions on the offensive line, so that could be a question mark. Due to his portly frame, though, he's not the physical dominator in the running game that his size suggests, though. He opts to wall off defenders much of the time, then just imposes will on them. His pass protection is prowess. It was aided by an up-tempo offense that rarely asks the quarterback to hold the ball for too long, so the main thing he's been used to is having the quarterback get the ball out quickly. And he is coming off an injury where he had to get season-ending surgery this year to repair a torn labrum in his hip after 7 games. So yeah, that is a bit of a red flag, with injury history. Is it going to repeat itself in the NFL? But for his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Corey Glenn of the Cincinnati Bengals. See, I know mainly the Lions mainly want to just get a run game going, try and go get a run game going. And it's question mark. I mean, the hip injury, is it going to be a repeating factor? I know, someone to keep an eye on. Could be an interesting gamble. So the next player we have here, hailing out of Houston, standing 6'5", weighing 310 pounds, we have Josh Jones. So for Josh's strengths, he's broad-shouldered, he's a long-armed left tackle, impressive functional quickness and power, loves to engage with his hands, shows a strong jab and iron-like grip to snatch, sustain and sumo when he feels defenders off balance for impressive pancake blocks. He also did this to North Carolina's Jason Strowbridge during Senior Bowl week, if you want to go check that out. He's often not asked to drive block in Houston's scheme, but he shows power and some nastiness when doing so. He is surprisingly quick. When he's asked to pull, he alters his route to consistently hit moving targets at the second level, including top-notch athletes. For his weaknesses, though, he is quick in short spaces, though, but he begins to lumber before long, making him relying on his ability to anticipate where defenders are going. He was aided by playing in an up-tempo offense with a highly mobile quarterback. He doesn't have experience at right tackle or guard, but put some work in there for scouts in mobile. But he has been listed as a sleeper pick, so he is someone to keep an eye on. There is a bit of a red flag for maturity because he did consider quitting football his first year on campus when he was forced to redshirt. But then he got his shit together and grew the fuck up because he was like, hey, maybe if I play, well, maybe I'll actually do something. and have a career. And he also shined at the Senior Bowl as one of the best tackles during practice. So really, his draft stock's going up. He could shock a lot of people. For his NFL comparison, though, he has been compared to Russell Okon of the Los Angeles Chargers. So yeah, someone definitely keep an eye on. Has a lot of potential for sure. Someone interesting. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Washington, standing 6'8", weighing in at 306 pounds, we have Trey Adams. So for Trey's strengths, he's tall. He's a tall, imposing player with a condor's wingspan and footwork of a ballerina. Terrific initial quickness off the snap. Easily slides to his left. Forces pass rushers to run a wide arc. He gained his light feet and body control in 2019 that he showed prior to his knee and back surgeries, which we'll get to in a little bit. He shows the experience in picking up surprise blitzes, switches off on combo blocks. He combines his stellar footwork by winning the tail of the tape due to his fine-like arms. His weaknesses, though, he's not the earth mover in the run game that his size may suggest. He relies more on quickness and angles to see out defenders. He's often stood up, though, at the line of scrimmage, fails to generate consistent movement at the point of attack, and he is coming off significant medical red flags after he missed most of 2018 due to back surgery to repair a bulging disc, and he missed half of 2017 with a torn ACL in his right knee. So yeah, 2 different injury red flags. That could be bad. He has also been listed as a player that could disappoint. With the medical history and that he's had injury history in college, and usually that tends to repeat itself in the NFL, he could end up being a potential bust if he can't stay healthy. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Nate Solder of the New York Giants. He has a lot of potential and he's a big offensive lineman, but the key for him to being successful is simply that he needs to stay healthy. Something he had a lot of issues with in college. Especially with especially getting back surgery. Back injuries are no laughing matter. So yeah, with him, I'm going to have to say pass. So the next player we're going to go over, hailing out of LSU, standing 6'5", weighing 305 pounds, we have Shadeg Charles. Hopefully I said his name right. So Shadeg, he's your prototype pulling, trapping offensive tackle. So he can pull you in and trap you in if he grabs a hold of your chest at the line of scrimmage in the trenches. For his strengths, he's a highly effective and creative blocker. Incorporates impressive athleticism, length, functional strength, variety of tricks to beat opponents. He's quick off the snap, does a nice job of riding opponents wide to protect the edge with long strides. Typically, this leads blockers too far over their skis, but Charles is a balanced and coordinated athlete, shortens his gout when needed. His anticipation and versatility on a snap-to-snap basis really stands out on tape. In terms of his weaknesses, though, he does possess a slightly smaller frame than what some NFL teams and NFL offensive linemen expect in an NFL offensive lineman. He needs more time in the weight room to develop his knockdown power. Although his frame may be somewhat maxed out, meaning he likely is strictly a left tackle in the NFL, he will require some vetting. He did miss 6 games in last year due to a coach's decision. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. We're gonna have to go deeper into that if we draft him. For his NFL comparison, though, he has been compared to Charles Leno of the Chicago Bears. So yeah, he was mainly one of the guys that had to protect Joe Burrow's blind side. Could be someone we could keep an eye on in like round 2 or 3. Could be someone interesting to pick up. So the next player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Connecticut, standing 6'6", weighing 310 pounds, we have Matthew Pert. So for Matthew, his strengths, he's certainly deserving of the Dancing Bear, that nickname. His adage gets tossed around in scouting circles. He's incredibly light on his feet for a big man, possesses some great agility. He transitions easily when moving to the second level and hunts down the linebackers. His length is phenomenal, should allow him to control distance against most opponents. He comfortably passes the eye test thanks to his elite tools. His frame has room to put on more weight if he needs to, but he became more disciplined with his footwork as a senior. And he impressed a lot of people at the Senior Bowl, so his draft stock has improved from there. For weaknesses, though, he is raw from a technical standpoint. I don't care, shut up, phone. And he will need to clean up his pass sets as a pro. He is a borderline pacifist at times in the run game, does not demonstrate finishing mindset to his blocks. His hands aren't strong, it will prevent him from redirecting defenders in the run game. His long arms, that makes him difficult to win in a phone booth. His anchor can get knocked loose by good bull rushes. He's a right tackle who may need to take time to transition to the left side. So he's mainly played right tackle, and that's really been it. So he's going to need a transition period to another position. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Brian O'Neill of the Minnesota Vikings. So yeah, for Matthew, he really doesn't do much in the run game, but mainly it's pass protection. I mean, we do need to get some protection for Stafford after that back injury. But in terms of what we're trying to build, with the run game, no, it doesn't look like he's worth a shot. We'll have to keep an eye, though. So the next player we have here, hailing out of Kansas, standing 6'4", weighing 310 pounds, we have Hakeem Butler. Hopefully I said that last name right. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Anyway, continuing on though, for Hakeem's strengths, he possesses legitimate NFL caliber athleticism. He perhaps though lacks truly imposing frame, but he is compactly built for a left tackle with good overall weight distribution. Fires off the snap, coordinates his feet and punch nicely to remain squarely in front of edge rushers. Has good quickness for double teams and switch offs. Typically plays with proper technique. Keeps his knees bent and feet flat to absorb bull rushes. He improves his hand power and placement as a senior. He also does have experience at right tackle early in his career, so he can play either of the tackle positions. For weaknesses, though, he can be a bit frantic in his play with all sorts of moving parts. He usually gets ahead of himself at lunges at times. He opens the gate for redirects inside or allowing his arms to get too far extended, giving referees easy holding calls. So he's got to learn to get better at not taking stupid-ass penalties. He further gets himself in trouble when he lets his pad level rise. Negates any leverage advantage. His only average strength in his hands. He relies upon angles and his quickness to steal off defenders. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Kelvin Beachum at the New York Jets. He's an interesting name. Could be someone we should keep an eye on. Could be someone interesting. And the final offensive tackle we're going to go over in this video before we move on to the guards. We have here, hailing out of Texas Tech, standing 6'6", weighing 312 pounds. We have Terrence Steele. So Terrence, for his strengths, he looks the part. He has an 85 and an 1/8 inch wingspan and 35 and 7/8 inch long arms, each of which were ranked among the biggest of all the players at this year's Senior Bowl. So that will help. That will probably raise his stock up a bit. He shows impressive ability, keeps his massive frame square to defenders. He's so long and strong that he can simply latch on and control them. He plays with a nasty edge, despite Tech's reputation for producing finesse blockers, though. His athleticism stands out when he races 15 to 20 yards downfield to take out not only the linebackers, but the defensive backs, too. So he can block almost anybody. For his weaknesses, though, his tendency of bending at the waist can sap his otherwise impressive strength. And this issue, it's excalibrated by a tendency of ducking his head on contact. Leads the tall tackle surprisingly vulnerable to swim moves over his head. He played out at a 2-point stance at Texas. He could struggle if asked to convert to lining up with his hand in the dirt in the NFL. So he might have a problem lining up in a 3-point stance. And he did have the red shirt before he became the starting left tackle in 2016. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Chris Clark of the Houston Texans. So yeah, he's pretty interesting. You know, if we can get him to convert his stance over to 3-point to what the other NFL offensive linemen do, he has potential to be good, to be a solid player. It's just, can we get him converted over to a different stance, and can he adjust well to it? So now moving on to the offensive guards for rounds 2 and 3 for the day 2 top offensive guards, of course. The first one we're going to go over, hailing out of Oregon, standing 6'4", weighing 316 pounds, we have Shane Lemieux. So Shane, he's your prototype pulling, trapping guard. So he's very good at pulling you in and trapping you in at the line of scrimmage in the trenches. So overall for his strengths, he has a classic offensive guard frame. He's square with broad shoulders, wide hips, thick limbs, has good agility and balance, handles active rushers and pass protection. His agility experience shows on combo blocks. He can get a powerful initial shove on defensive tackles before he climbs to the second level. Shows good awareness and mobility in space. Adjusts to moving targets. He's technically sound, highly competitive. He plays with some nastiness and pounces to pancake opponents if they get off balance. He's an alpha dog on senior Latin line. For his weaknesses, though, he's not the physically dominant destroyer his blocky frame and reputation indicate. He does not latch onto opponents, and he erases them from the play. He is more of a shove and shuffle blocker when attempting to mirror. He delivers effective jabs, but needs more power behind his punch. He has average grip strength to latch on and sustain, though. And he did have the red shirt in 2015 before he became the starter. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Joe Thuney of the New England Patriots. So I think he's going to have a lot of interest for the Lions, considering, you know, the New England connection with this pick, when he's compared to a Patriot player. And keep in mind, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia both used to be part of the Patriots staff. So yeah, someone to definitely keep an eye on the draft board. Someone very interesting indeed. So the next guard we're going to go over here, hailing out of Louisiana Lafayette, standing 6'5", weighing 322 pounds, we have Robert Hunt. So for Robert's strengths, he passes the eye test with the frame of an NFL blocker. He's broad-shouldered, well-proportioned, has thick, long limbs. His hoops background is evident in his ease of movement, so he has some experience playing basketball, so he's very quick. He's smooth off the snap, shows good initial quickness, lateral agility to mirror, bends knees to keep pads low enough to win the leverage battle. He's versatile. He started the last 2 seasons at right tackle, which was a total of 28 games. But he did begin his career at left guard. And he did start 2 games at left tackle as a redshirt sophomore. He did have to redshirt for a couple of years or so. His level of competition questions are fair, but he does come from a pro-style offense. He lines up in a 3-point stance. He is asked to fire off the ball, potentially easing his transition to the NFL. He can bully with size and strength. He shows enough leg drive to generate movement at the point of attack. Highly durable, and he's highly competitive. For weaknesses, not yet the sum of his parts, though. He relies on his size and athleticism to wall off opponents, rather than just flat-out dominate them. He could be golden with NFL coaching and technique work. He's specifically better torque and counters. His punch is more of a jab. He lacks the power to knock opponents back. He fails to lock on and control and has erratic hand placement. He hits defenders too high, allows them to slip free. He has foot speed for tackle. His foot speed for tackle, it must be proven at the NFL level. He is less valuable as a guard in terms of draft capital, though, for anyone that's interested in trading back for someone who wants to come up and take him. So yeah, if you're hoping someone comes up to take him and gives you picks for it, probably unlikely. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Brandon Brooks of the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he's pretty interesting. You know, he has smooth transition, but the hand placement, I don't know. Pretty interesting. I don't know, have to wait and see on this one. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Robert Hunt has also been listed as a small school stud. So yeah, he really killed it in the small school area. Was one of the top in the small school districts. So yeah, someone definitely we should keep an eye on though. So the next guard we're gonna go over here, hailing out of Kentucky, standing 6'6", weighing 322 pounds. We have Logan Stenberg. So Logan, he's your prototype run-blocking offensive guard, so he's very good in the run game. Definitely going to be on the target since the Lions want to improve the run game. For his strengths, he has a massive opposing frame. His weight is evenly distributed, includes his lower half. He's a better athlete than his size would suggest. Shows good initial burst off the snap, including when he pulls or climbs to the second level with impressive straight line acceleration. He's a power player with very good upper body strength, with to lock out and control opponents. Has good core strength and flexibility, withstands bull rushes and anchors. He can drive defenders off the ball with strong leg drive. He blocks with a street brawler mentality. He's durable with a professional approach to the game. For his weaknesses, though, he's a heavy-legged waistbender whose height could make finding a schematic and positional fit troublesome. He is relatively quick for his size, but he too often has to fight to regain position at the start of the play against smaller, quick-twitch defensive tackles. He can struggle with his pad level because of his height. He gives up ground while anchoring. He's not great sliding laterally. He has to rely upon his strength and his size and brute strength to create a human wall, rather than truly mirroring opponents. So he tries to flat out dominate instead of try and mirror them. He has core stiffness, which shows up when blocking downfield. He too often is a tick late, adjusting to moving targets, and he resorts to off-balance shoves. And he did have the red shirt when he came over to Kentucky when he was the number 2 ranked offensive tackle at Alabama. He did become a starter, though. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Ode Abushi of the Detroit Lions. So he's been compared with a Lions player. So yeah, someone definitely to keep an eye on. So yeah, someone the Lions could pick up later in the draft. So yeah, someone we should keep an eye on for sure. So the next guard we're going to go over here, hailing out of Clemson, standing 6'4", weighing 330 pounds, we have John Simpson. So John, for his strengths, he's a classic earth-moving power blocker, thick build, has tree trunks for limbs, flashes impressive initial quickness considering his massive bulk. He can't allow as a mover pulling to reach the second level. His pancake panic linebackers and defensive backs. His raw power to generate movements at the point of attack. Uses leg drive to knock defenders' yards downfield. He effectively mirrors well in pass protection. Wins with his width, balance, and strength. He's a former high school state wrestling champion with an understanding of leverage out of South Carolina. So he's also very good in the wrestling game too. So he has a very good center of balance. And he's comfort in close quarters. He's a former 4-star recruit. He played immediately at Clemson. He gets high marks for his intangibles. And he also earned AP All-American honors in 2019. So yeah. For his weaknesses, though, he's a good athlete for his size, but he's just average in comparison to other NFL prospects at this position. He's inconsistent with his initial get-off speed. You know, a lot of top prospects come in with consistency issues, so that's something to be worked on, of course. Hey, always room for improvement. He can be laid off the ball and provides his opponent with an early advantage. He lacks quickness for effective cut blocks. He's more of an intimidating presence defender that can avoid or run around at the second level. He's not consistently the snatch and sustain type. He also has been listed as a player that could disappoint. So if he's not utilized correctly or if he just keeps shitting the bed, he could be someone that could potentially be a bust. I mean, he has a lot of accolades and he's a very good athlete. But can he transition well at the NFL level? That's going to be the big question here. For his NFL comparison, he has been compared to DJ Fluker, the Seattle Seahawks. So yeah, he could be someone interesting to keep an eye on. So yeah, could be a gamble to take it, but if you utilize him well, it could be a good reward in the end. And the final offensive guard we're going to go over in this video before we move on to the centers. We have hailing out of St. John's. Standing 6'6", weighing 308 pounds, we have Ben Barch. So Ben Barch, he is your prototype downfield guard, so he's very good when you get the ball downfield and get them big plays. So overall, for Ben's strengths, he has light feet, balance and strength with a legitimate quick twitch at the snap. Explodes out of his stance in pass protection and run blocking, so he's good in both those areas. He's an easy mover with ideal bend to mirror and anchor. He slides easily laterally to the edge, maintaining arc with athleticism and patience. Has quick active hands to punch with coordinated movement. He climbs to the second level efficiently and can redirect. He stalks his target and shows good body control to adjust in space. For his weaknesses, though, he has a level of competition concern. It's steep, though. He was bigger and stronger, significantly more athletic than Division III opponents. He did line up in the two-point stance at left tackle and an up-tempo spread offense. So it makes his projection inside the guard at the Senior Bowl that much more challenging because the guard is a position he's never played, so he may need some time to adjust and develop into a guard. He's a bit inconsistent with his hand placement, though. He gets his mitts too high and outside. And he's quick enough, but he might initially struggle with the raw power he'll face in the NFL. So he may need a few years to transition into it. And he has to get his hands low because you get them too high, that could open you up for penalties, for taking stupid penalties in the NFL. But yeah, for his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Ali Marpet of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he has the potential to be someone good in both the pass and the run game. But he may need a couple years, though, to develop into his true potential and to adjust to the guard position. Or he could move him to tackle, where he's been comfortable most of his career. Could be someone interesting to keep an eye on. So now, moving on to the centers here. First center we have here, hailing out of Wisconsin. Standing 6'2", weighing 321 pounds, we have Tyler Attis. So Tyler, he's your prototype run-blocking center, so he's very good in the run game. The Lions, they will probably have a big target on him too, since, they're trying to build a run game up, so someone to definitely keep an eye on. For his strengths, he looks the part of an NFL center. He's short, has a stubby frame, well-suited for trench warfare. Plays on the balls with his feet when knees bent. Has a natural ballist to anchor versus bull rushers. He's more athletic than he looks with snap-to-step quickness. Knockback defensive tackles at the point of attack. Has impressive agility when pulling. Won't wow during workouts, but he's very efficient. He understands his flight plan prior to snapping the ball. Takes direct routes to linebackers at the second level. Has strong hands and overall upper body strength. He does the little things well. He finishes blocks, looks for secondary target once he finishes with one defender. He prepares like a pro. So he's NFL ready. For his weaknesses, though, his stubby frame likely limits him to center position at the next level. While his compact frame does help Tyler maintain proper pad level, he's relatively short arms, so limits his reach. He can be forced to lunge forward toward defenders, leaving him off balance, occasionally on the ground. He does require a close look during medical testing. He had to undergo surgery on his shoulder during the 2019 season after he underwent hip surgery after his sophomore season. So he's had 2 injuries. That is a bit of a red flag. Will this injury history repeat itself in the NFL? For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Cody Whitehead of the Chicago Bears. So Tyler, he has the potential to be good at the top next level. But that injury history, is it going to hold him back? Is it going to make him injury prone? A lot of questions with him. If the Lions take him, it's going to be a gamble. But it could pay off well if he can stay healthy. So the next center we're going to go over here, hailing out of LSU, standing 6'3", weighing 315 pounds, we have Lloyd Cushenberry III. So Lloyd, he's your prototype intangible center. For his strengths, he's a coordinated athlete for the position, provides significantly quicker than his blocky frame suggests. He has very good snap-to-step quickness, surprised opponents on down blocks, easily climbs to the second level where he shows awareness and balance in adjusting to moving targets. He slides left and right easily to mirror defenders, has good awareness to recognize late blitzers, and has quickness and length to win when under siege. He has good size position between long arms and big hands to latch on to defenders. He gets knocked back, but he typically recovers in time and sprawls to anchors. He has accurate shotgun snapper, has athletic upside, indicates his best football is to come. He's praised by his coaches for his maturity and leadership on and off the field. So he's very mature. He's a very intelligent man. For his weaknesses, though, he's not the typical bruiser at center. He doesn't play to his frame. He allows his pads to rise as he snaps the ball. He can't get knocked back onto his heels. Sometimes deep into the pocket, he will drop his hands to load up his punch, gives defenders an opportunity to get in the first jab. He snaps the lack juice, he floats back to the quarterback and provides defenders a split second more time to attack before the play can really begin. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Chase Royer of the Washington Redskins. I mean, he has a lot of potential to be good at the top next level. You know, someone definitely to keep an eye on. Definitely someone to keep on the draft board for sure. So the next player we're going to go over here for the centers, hailing out of Washington, standing 6'1", weighing 302 pounds, we have Nick Harris. So Nick is your prototype quickness center, so he's very quick off the snap. For his strengths, he has rare foot quickness for a 300-plus pound interior lineman. He dances to the second level, adjusts in a flash, cuts off pursuit angles of linebackers and defensive backs. Lacks imposing frame, but uses his natural leverage advantage to get under the pads of opponents. His uproots the competition, anchors well against bull rushers. His lateral agility and balance in pass protection is where he is able to mirror opponents and adjusts late to surprise blitzes and twists. He's NFL caliber, has sticky hands, latches onto defenders, and shows good hand strength and leg drive to finish blocks. He's a top competitor, shows some nastiness to pancake opponents when he feels them off balance. He projects best at center, but he has extensively experience at guard, so he can float between guard and center. For his weaknesses, though, he's hardly the prototype. He won't win any beauty contests with scouts due to a short, stubby frame. But, you know, his lack of height, it leaves him a bit vulnerable to swim boosts. He's more of a wall-off positional blocker who wins with quickness. He's not a brute dominating with power. He occasionally overextends himself, though. He synchronizes his upper and body. Well, he rarely draws flags despite wrestling opponents. So he's very good at not taking stupid penalties. So that's something good to keep an eye on. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Rodney Hudson of the Oakland Raiders. So yeah, Harris is someone we should definitely keep an eye on. Someone that should be on a draft board for sure. And could give Stafford some protection, maybe. And of course, the final center, the final offensive lineman, the final player I'm going to be talking about in this video, we have hailing out of Michigan, standing 6'3", weighing 315 pounds, we have Cesar Ruiz. So for Cesar's strengths, he has square frame, long arms and hips nearly as wide as his broad shoulders, has tree trunks for thighs, boasts the leg drive to move the pile. He can't catch whipping defenders because of his length. He's better suited than most centers to anchoring against bull rushers due to his naturally low center of gravity and knee bend. Has good snap-to-step quickness despite stubby build. Showing active, accurate hands to latch and control opponents as well as flashing. Impressive agility in the mirror and pass protection. He's a mobile mover, reaches second level easily when unrecovered. For his weaknesses, though, he's still ironing out his wrinkles in the rut game with his inconsistent footwork. Hand placement and pad level are plaguing him. He can be lazy with his feet, stampers them into the ground, leans into opponents rather than slide naturally. He can slip downfield in the run game. He's inconsistent, anticipating where defenders are heading. He's stopping his feet once he reaches them. He's too often getting left behind. Allows his pads to get too high, negating his own strengths. And he gets pushed deep into the pocket. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Bradley Bozeman of the Baltimore Ravens. I know a lot of Lions fans are going to be high on him since, of course, he's from Michigan. You know, the whole Michigan and Michigan State deal. You know, someone definitely we should keep an eye on. He has a lot of potential. So, yeah, someone should keep an eye on for sure. Not going to lie. But, yeah, anyway, that's going to wrap it up here for this draft preview for the Lions. So, yeah, of course, we are going to revisit this area again. You know, for day 3. Well, we're going to be reviewing every position for day 3. For the day 3 draft previews. Since rounds 4 to 7 are addressing any other needs you had left. And, you know, just adding depth. Just gain some depth in for every position that you can. So, yeah, of course, this is going to also wrap it up, of course, for the day 2 draft previews on offense. Before we go into the day 2 defensive draft previews. So, we're going to go into the defensive positions again. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up here. You know, I've been sort of debating about if I want to do a draft preview every day for the next couple weeks. I think I'm just going to stay at the 3 a week until the draft. Since my workplace just went into shutdown because of the COVID-19 outbreak. And I'm pretty much now stuck in quarantine. Don't worry, I don't have the goddamn disease. I am fucking healthy. There's no way in hell. Even if I did get it, I would be fine. So, yeah, nothing to worry about for me here. See, I've been debating about it. I think I'm going to stick to the 3 a week, you know, since it's just easier to do. I don't know. I've been debating about 4 a week and doing 1 on Saturdays. I don't know. What do you think I should do? More draft previews or just stay where I am right now with it? But yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to say for this. Of course, if you enjoyed the preview, smash the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for more content. But yeah, anyway, and also tap the bell to get all notifications, of course. But yeah, anyway, that's going to wrap it up here. I've been C-Rad from C-RadTV. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, peace out.